Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. Two people wake up at the same time. Both have big dreams. Both have talent. But 5 years later, one is living their dream while the other is still stuck in the same place. What made the difference? It wasn't luck. It wasn't connections. It wasn't even raw talent. The dividing line between success and struggle comes down to one word: discipline. But here's what most motivational speakers won't tell you. Discipline isn't about white-knuckling your way through life. It's not about punishment or deprivation. True discipline is the ultimate form of self-respect. It's the quiet power that turns "I wish" into "I have," one day into day one, what if into what's next. Let me take you back to 1855. A 16-year-old bookkeeper named John D. Rockefeller starts his first job earning 50 cents a day. While his co-workers spend their paychecks, he does something radical. He buys a small ledger and titles it Ledger A. In it, he tracks every cent he earns and spends with religious precision. This wasn't just frugality. This was discipline in its purest form, the kind that would later build Standard Oil and make him history's first billionaire. But here's the crucial insight. Rockefeller's empire wasn't built in a dramatic moment of genius. It was built through thousands of ordinary days of disciplined choices. Modern science reveals why discipline works so powerfully. When researchers at MIT studied habit formation, they discovered the habit loop: cue, routine, reward. But here's what's fascinating. Disciplined people aren't necessarily more motivated. They've simply mastered the art of habit architecture. Your brain's basal ganglia stores automated behaviors, meaning every disciplined action you take today makes tomorrow's discipline easier. It's like carving a path through fresh snow. The more you walk it, the clearer the trail becomes. The true power of discipline reveals itself not in dramatic moments of inspiration, but in the quiet consistency of daily action. Imagine a young Leonardo da Vinci in his workshop, filling notebook after notebook with sketches of human anatomy. While others slept, he dissected cadavers by candlelight, driven by an insatiable curiosity that refused to be satisfied with surface-level understanding. This wasn't just hard work. It was the disciplined pursuit of mastery that would eventually produce the Mona Lisa's mysterious smile and the Last Supper's perfect perspective. Discipline separates those who dream from those who achieve. Consider the rigorous training of Navy SEALs, where 80% of candidates drop out during Hell Week, not because they lack strength or skill, but because they haven't cultivated the mental discipline to continue when every fiber of their being screams to quit. The difference between success and failure often comes down to who can endure just 5 minutes longer, who can push through when comfort begs them to stop. History's greatest innovators all shared this common thread. Thomas Edison's famous 10,000 attempts to invent the light bulb weren't failures. They were disciplined experiments, each one eliminating what didn't work to bring him closer to what would. His laboratory maintained brutal work schedules, with Edison himself often working 60-hour stretches, not out of obligation, but because he had disciplined his mind to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. The ancient Spartans understood this principle at their core. Their legendary military prowess wasn't born from natural superiority, but from a culture that prized discipline above all else. From childhood, Spartan warriors trained their bodies and minds through relentless practice, turning themselves into living weapons, not through talent, but through uncompromising daily discipline. While other city-states slept, Sparta's soldiers drilled in darkness until their movements became instinctive. Modern neuroscience confirms what these historical examples demonstrate. Discipline is essentially trained behavior. Every time you resist distraction and focus on your work, you're strengthening neural pathways that make discipline easier next time. It's like building muscle through repetition. The more you exercise self-control, the stronger your discipline becomes. Studies show it takes about 66 days on average to form a new habit, which means your first 2 months of struggle eventually give way to automatic action. The business world's most successful leaders harness this power daily. Elon Musk famously breaks his time into 5-minute slots, maximizing every moment with ruthless efficiency. While others might see this as extreme, Musk has simply disciplined himself to eliminate decision fatigue and wasted motion. His ability to run multiple billion-dollar companies stems not from superhuman capacity, but from meticulously designed systems of personal discipline. Olympic athletes provide perhaps the clearest example of disciplined excellence. A gold medalist doesn't train when they feel like it. They follow scientifically precise regimens regardless of weather, mood, or circumstance. Their secret? They've learned to separate feelings from actions, understanding that motivation follows action rather than precedes it. While amateurs wait for inspiration, professionals stick to their schedule. That's the discipline difference. Consider the writing process of best-selling authors. J. Rowling didn't wait for perfect conditions to write Harry Potter. She wrote in cafes while her baby slept, disciplining herself to produce words daily despite exhaustion and poverty. Stephen King still writes 2,000 words every single day, treating his craft with the same professional discipline as a factory worker clocks in for shift. This relentless consistency transforms ordinary people into extraordinary creators. The financial markets reward disciplined investors in the same way. Warren Buffett's legendary patience, his ability to wait years for the perfect investment while others chase quick gains, demonstrates the power of disciplined decision-making. His famous quote, "The stock market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient," reveals how financial discipline creates wealth where impulsiveness destroys it. Even in nature, we find this principle at work. The mighty oak tree grows from a tiny acorn through years of disciplined growth. No shortcuts, no rushing the process. The migrating goose flies thousands of miles through disciplined formation, each bird taking turns at the front to break the wind for others. Discipline isn't just a human concept, it's a universal law of achievement. The most profound transformations occur through disciplined daily practice. A novice violinist sounds terrible at first, but through daily disciplined practice, their fingers learn to dance across strings with precision they once thought impossible. Language learners start with simple phrases, but through disciplined daily study, they eventually think in their new tongue. The compound effect of small, consistent actions creates results that seem magical to observers, but feel inevitable to the disciplined practitioner. In our modern world of constant distraction, discipline has become the ultimate competitive advantage. While others succumb to endless scrolling and instant gratification, the disciplined individual invests that same time in skill building and personal growth. Over years, this difference compounds into an unbridgeable gap, not because one person is inherently better, but because they made better choices day after day after day. The beauty of discipline lies in its accessibility. You don't need special talent, wealth, or connections to develop it, just the willingness to show up consistently for your own growth. Every great artist, athlete, entrepreneur, and innovator started with the same 24 hours we all get. What they did differently was discipline those hours toward meaningful progress, rather than let them slip away in distraction. True freedom comes not from doing whatever you want in the moment, but from having the discipline to build the life you truly want over time. The disciplined person isn't constrained by rules. They're liberated by results. They understand that short-term sacrifice fuels long-term achievement, that today's effort becomes tomorrow's advantage, that small choices accumulate into massive consequence. This is the unspoken truth behind every success story worth telling. Not luck, not genius, not circumstance, just old-fashioned discipline, applied consistently over time until it creates something extraordinary from something ordinary. The good news? This power is available to anyone willing to cultivate it. The bad news? Only the disciplined few ever will. Which will you choose to? If you've ever wondered why some people rise to greatness while others seem stuck, trapped in the cycle of daily struggles, the answer might be simpler than you think. It all comes down to one powerful word: discipline. Imagine you're trying to climb a mountain. Some people make it to the top while others barely make it past the halfway mark. What's the difference? Is it luck? Talent? No, it's discipline. Discipline is the hidden force, the quiet power that separates success from stagnation. It's the drive that pushes you to act when motivation fades, to rise early even when the bed feels so much more inviting, to stay focused when the world is full of distractions. Think of discipline as the silent engine that turns your goals into achievements, your dreams into reality. It's like the quiet rhythm behind every major success story. Whether it's an athlete breaking records, a leader shaping history, or an entrepreneur building an empire, discipline is always there, working behind the scenes. And the best part, discipline isn't just some trait you either have or don't. It's a skill you can cultivate, and once you master it, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Let's take a step back and look at history. The most successful people throughout time were not necessarily born with special gifts. They were just incredibly disciplined. Take Henry Ford, for example. When he first introduced the horseless carriage, what we now know as the car, people laughed. They thought it was a joke, a fantasy. Can you imagine? At the time, the idea of a car seemed like something out of a science fiction novel. Yet Ford's unshakable discipline kept him moving forward. Every setback he faced became just another lesson to refine his approach. He didn't let mockery stop him. Instead, he used it as fuel to continue his disciplined work, and eventually the world stood in awe of what he created. Then there's Thomas Edison, a man who tried and failed over 1,000 times to make the light bulb a reality. 1,000 failures. But Edison didn't view these setbacks as defeats. No, he saw them as steps forward. His quote, "Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration," wasn't just some catchy saying, it was his life's mantra. Edison didn't wait for inspiration to strike. Instead, he kept working, kept experimenting, and kept refining his process. His discipline was the secret to his success, not just his intelligence. Think about this. Discipline isn't about punishing yourself or living a life of rigid restriction. It's actually about freedom. Freedom from procrastination. Freedom to act decisively, even when you're not feeling motivated. Discipline gives you the power to move forward, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. Now you might be thinking, but how can I develop this kind of discipline in my own life? The first step is simple but crucial. Define your goals. What do you want to achieve? What does your dream look like? Let yourself visualize it clearly in your mind. When you have a clear vision of where you're going, every step you take feels purposeful. Start small. Discipline isn't about making grand gestures. It's about small, consistent actions that build momentum over time. It's like planting seeds. You won't see the fruit right away, but with patience and care, the results will come. When you make promises to yourself and honor them, you're strengthening your discipline every day. Think about the power in keeping your word to yourself. Every small win builds your confidence, and before you know it, your disciplined habits are ingrained. But here's the thing, discipline thrives in clarity. If your goals are vague, your discipline will falter. Imagine trying to walk somewhere without knowing the destination. You'd be lost, right? That's why having clear, specific goals is key to maintaining discipline. If you don't know where you're going, how can you possibly get there? Let's look at the Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur. They didn't just dream of flying, they defined exactly what they wanted to achieve. Their goals were as clear as day. They knew they needed to build machines that were lighter, more aerodynamic, and could sustain flight. And despite being laughed at by many, they kept at it with unwavering discipline. They didn't stop until they broke free from the limitations of their time and flew into history. They didn't just aim for the sky, they reached it. So let me ask you, what's your sky? What's the one thing, if achieved, would transform your life completely? Take a moment to think about that, because without clarity, your discipline will struggle. Once your goal is clear, your daily actions will align with it. You won't just be working blindly, you'll be building a roadmap towards your success. Now let's talk about something crucial, discipline in the face of adversity. Life is tough, right? It throws challenges our way that seem insurmountable. But here's where discipline comes in. People with strong discipline don't see setbacks as obstacles, they see them as opportunities. Take Abraham Lincoln, for example. Early in his life, he failed countless times. He lost elections, went bankrupt, and was publicly ridiculed. But Lincoln's discipline was ironclad. Rather than letting failure define him, he used each setback to fuel his next step forward. Each failure taught him resilience, and eventually, that same discipline helped him become one of the greatest presidents in history. When things get tough, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this challenge help me grow? Discipline doesn't mean you won't face hard times. It means you'll have the strength to keep going when they come. Here's the thing about discipline. It makes you unstoppable. It ensures that you show up even when you don't feel like it. It's not about avoiding difficulties. It's about pushing through them, knowing that every challenge you overcome makes you stronger. So if you want to achieve greatness, it starts with discipline. Not just the discipline to work hard when it's easy, but the discipline to stay consistent when it's hard. When you commit to a disciplined life, even your failures become stepping stones to success. You might be thinking, but what if I'm not there yet? What if I'm not as disciplined as those successful people? Here's the good news. You can build that discipline, one day at a time. Small steps, daily habits, and consistency. Each action you take today builds momentum for tomorrow. So take that first step, define your goal. Start with small actions, surround yourself with people who inspire you to stay disciplined, and when setbacks come, because they will, don't be discouraged. Look at them as opportunities to strengthen your resolve. In the end, discipline will be the force that turns your dreams into reality. The more disciplined you are, the more unstoppable you become. And as you master the art of discipline, you'll find that your greatest dreams are not just possible, they're inevitable. Discipline is often seen as the invisible force that propels people from mediocrity to greatness. It's easy to assume that success is only reserved for those with exceptional talent or luck. But the truth is, discipline plays a far more crucial role. It's the quiet, consistent effort that allows someone to continue moving forward, even when enthusiasm wanes or life gets in the way. You might wonder, why do some people consistently achieve their goals while others fail despite having the same opportunities or talents? The difference often comes down to one thing: discipline. Imagine waking up early every day, even when you don't feel like it. Picture yourself sitting down at your desk, even when distractions pull at your attention, or pushing yourself to work out, even when the comfort of your bed is more inviting than the gym. What makes some people do this consistently while others struggle with it? It's discipline. It's that inner strength to push through moments of doubt and discomfort, to stay committed to your goal when the initial excitement has faded and when the path ahead feels unclear. At its core, discipline is the ability to focus on long-term goals and make the necessary sacrifices to achieve them. It's easy to get caught up in the thrill of inspiration or a sudden burst of motivation. Motivation can push you to start something, whether it's a new project, a fitness routine, or a career goal. But motivation is fleeting. It's not reliable enough to carry you through the ups and downs of a long journey. It can fluctuate from day to day, or even hour to hour. One day you feel unstoppable, and the next, the smallest obstacle feels insurmountable. This is where discipline steps in. It doesn't depend on the ebbs and flows of motivation. Discipline keeps you moving forward, even when the passion fades. Think of it like training for a marathon. You might feel excited at the start. The idea of crossing that finish line and the sense of achievement is motivating. But after a few weeks of early morning runs, sore muscles, and bad weather, the initial excitement starts to wear off. Motivation begins to dwindle. However, someone who has discipline doesn't let this stop them. They continue to wake up every morning and put on their running shoes, not because they feel motivated every day, but because they understand that the long-term reward is worth the temporary discomfort. Discipline is the habit of showing up even when you don't feel like it. Discipline also creates a structure in your life. It provides the framework in which goals can be realized. It's like having a roadmap for your success. Without it, the road can feel overwhelming, full of detours and distractions. Discipline allows you to break down large, intimidating goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Instead of looking at the final destination and feeling defeated, discipline keeps you focused on the next step and the next one after that. By taking consistent actions, no matter how small, you steadily build momentum. The more consistent your efforts, the more progress you make. Before you know it, what seemed like an impossible task has become an achievable reality. The value of discipline can be seen in the stories of countless achievers throughout history. Take Thomas Edison, for instance. Edison famously stated that genius is 1% inspiration and 99%. He wasn't simply referring to working hard. He was talking about the persistence that discipline provides. Edison's pursuit of the light bulb wasn't a one-time burst of genius. It was a continuous series of trial and error, testing, refining, and trying again. He encountered thousands of failures, but instead of giving up, his discipline allowed him to keep moving forward. His dedication to his vision and his unwavering commitment to the process are what eventually led to success. In today's world, discipline is what helps you stay focused in a time when distractions are everywhere. We live in a society where notifications, social media, and endless entertainment can pull us in a million directions. Yet people who achieve greatness have learned to ignore the noise. They understand that if you want to achieve something meaningful, you need to block out distractions and remain committed to your goal. It's not about working harder, but working smarter, with consistent effort, day in and day out. Take a moment to think about your own goal. How many times have you set a goal but found yourself struggling to stay committed? How many New Year's resolutions have you made, only to see them fizzle out by February. This is where discipline becomes vital. It's the consistency in your efforts, not the intensity, that will determine your success. It's about creating small, sustainable habits that you can build on over time. Discipline is also a great equalizer. It doesn't matter if you weren't born with a special talent, or if your background wasn't the most ideal. If you can commit to disciplined action, you can overcome any obstacle. While talent can give someone an advantage, it's discipline that ensures that talent gets maximized. Without discipline, raw talent can go to waste. Without discipline, goals remain dreams. But when you pair talent with relentless effort, you unlock the true potential for success. In the end, discipline is what turns your aspirations into achievement. It's the difference between wishing for success and working for it. While motivation can spark action, it's discipline that ensures you keep going when the spark fades. It builds a foundation that supports all of your dreams, no matter how big or small. Success is not a matter of waiting for the perfect moment or waiting for motivation to strike. It's about showing up every single day and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. The more disciplined you become, the more unstoppable you'll be. Clear, well-defined goals are the cornerstone of achieving success, and they play a crucial role in cultivating discipline. Without a clear vision of what you want to accomplish, it becomes incredibly difficult to maintain the consistent effort that discipline requires. Think about it for a moment. If you were driving to a new city but didn't have a map or GPS to guide you, how would you know the right direction? You might be able to get by for a while, but eventually, you would either lose your way or waste time and energy on detour. Similarly, without clear goals, your disciplined efforts lack direction, and it becomes easy to lose motivation or get distracted by anything that comes your way. Clear goals provide the structure and focus needed to stay on track. One of the main reasons people fail to stay disciplined is that they don't have a well-defined target. They might have an idea of what they want to achieve, but that vision often remains vague and intangible. For example, someone might say, "I want to get in shape," but without a specific plan, such as committing to exercising for 30 minutes a day or losing 10 pounds in 3 months, it's hard to measure progress or stay focused. As a result, motivation fades, and without a clear end goal, it's easy to drift away from your intentions. This lack of clarity weakens discipline because the person hasn't made a firm decision about what they're working toward. On the other hand, when you set clear and specific goals, you create a tangible target that your discipline can focus on. These goals act as markers that help guide your actions and decisions. It's like having a roadmap for success. For example, imagine you want to write a book. Simply saying, "I want to write a book someday," is not enough. But if you say, "I will write 500 words a day for the next 6 months and finish my first draft by December," you now have a clear goal with a concrete plan. This specific goal allows your discipline to align with the actions needed to achieve it. You know exactly what to do, when to do it, and what you're working toward, making it easier to push through the days when you feel uninspired. Having clear goals also helps you break down large, seemingly insurmountable tasks into manageable chunks. It's overwhelming to think about achieving something monumental if you don't break it down into smaller, actionable steps. For example, let's say your goal is to run a marathon. At first glance, this may seem like an overwhelming challenge, but if you break it down, start with running a mile, then 5 miles, then 10, suddenly the goal becomes achievable. By setting incremental goals, you ensure that your discipline is always directed towards something specific. This reduces the chances of feeling lost or overwhelmed because you have a step-by-step guide to follow. Clear goals also create a sense of urgency and motivation, which further fuels your discipline. When your goals are clear, you're able to prioritize them in your daily routine. Instead of letting distractions take over, you know what's important and make the necessary sacrifices to stay focused. For instance, when someone's goal is to get promoted at work, they will focus their energy on mastering new skills, completing their tasks efficiently, and going the extra mile. Because their goal is specific, securing that promotion, they can tailor their actions to that outcome. Their discipline in this case is fueled by a clear understanding of what they want to achieve and the steps needed to get there. Moreover, clear goals serve as a powerful source of motivation, especially during challenging times. When you face setbacks or experience moments of doubt, A clear goal reminds you of why you're putting in the effort. It gives you something tangible to hold on to, something that makes the daily grind worthwhile. For example, when you're working toward a goal like building a business or completing a difficult project, the days may feel long and however, having a clear, well-defined goal allows you to keep going even when things seem tough, because you know exactly what you're working toward and why it's important. Clarity in your goals also gives you a sense of progress. As you reach small milestones along the way, your discipline is reinforced. Each achievement, no matter how small, reminds you that your efforts are working and encourages you to keep moving forward. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see results, but clear goals help you track your progress and celebrate each victory, reinforcing the value of your discipline. Additionally, when you set clear goals, you are less likely to be distracted by unrelated opportunities or challenges. It's easy to be sidetracked by things that don't align with your objectives, but when your goals are clear, you can make decisions more confidently. You're able to say no to distractions and stay focused on what truly matters to you. This discipline in prioritizing helps you avoid wasting time and energy on pursuits that don't contribute to your end goal. Ultimately, having clear goals is an essential element of disciplined success. They give you a sense of direction and purpose, allowing you to channel your energy into meaningful action. With clear goals, discipline becomes a tool that drives you forward, rather than a force that feels restricted. Your goals give your discipline the clarity and precision it needs to be effective, turning your aspirations into something tangible and achievable. The more specific and well-defined your goals are, the more focused and effective your disciplined efforts will be, and the closer you will come to realizing your dream. In conclusion, discipline is the driving force that separates success from failure, turning goals into accomplishments and dreams into reality. It is the quiet, consistent effort that propels individuals through challenges, distractions, and setbacks, ensuring they stay on track even when motivation fades. But discipline alone isn't enough. It requires clarity and clear, defined goals provide the necessary direction and focus, transforming vague aspirations into tangible achievements. With discipline and clarity, there is no obstacle too great, no dream too distant. By cultivating these qualities, you will not only unlock your potential, but also surpass your own expectations, paving the way for extraordinary success. Thank you for taking the time to listen, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey toward achieving your goal. Remember, success isn't about waiting for the right moment. It's about creating that moment through disciplined effort and clear vision. Keep pushing forward, stay committed, and embrace the process. You've got this. Best of luck on all your endeavors, and thank you for being part of this experience.